Good morning and welcome back.
Oh, so you're talking.
Did you not know what was happening? Did you not know that that's what I was doing?
No.
Did you think I was just going to film us eating breakfast?
No.
You're a donut.
And speed it up.
Okay.
And speed it up.
We've got lots to do. We are on the last big job of the build, which is pretty cool. We've got the heating and the plumbing to do. So roll intro whilst we scoff this, and then I'll explain what we're going to be cracking on with. Right, if you haven't seen previous video talking about this, we have got this combi boiler. It is the Truma D4E, I think that's what it's called. Basically, it's a diesel heater which also does the hot water. You can run it off the diesel or you can just run it off electric, which is cool. So that will depend on your needs and musts and situation at the time. Seagulls are going mental today. Jesus Christ. I'll just wait 1 second whilst the seagulls have a fight on my garage roof. Okay, we're back in business. I can't remember where I got up to. Oh yeah, it's a diesel and an electric heater. So inside there is a 10-litre water tank which holds the hot water. Mix that with the cold water that you would need to get the correct temperature in your shower or on the sink, and it will give you somewhere around 20-25 litres of the right temperature water to use. So it's not an awful lot, but it is enough for a quick shower, which is, you know, what you expect to have in a camper van. Right, there is a load of pipe work to be done before we get this going, so let me explain what's going to happen with that. Right, so we've got a whole load of bits which I'm going to explain what is what. So on the side of the Truma we've got 3 ports. We've got a hot water outlet, so that's where the hot water comes out. We've got where you put the diesel line to feed the diesel into, and we've got the cold water inlet. So the cold water pipe from the tank, which we need to put in, is going to come up somewhere once we've organised all this into the right place. Cold water pipe is going to come up and it's going to go through a few different things. Probably isolator tap, which I haven't got yet, but it will go through a water pump which looks like that. So it's going to go, there's a filter on there as well which I've already attached, this little glass filter thing. So the water pipe will come in, go through the filter, go through the pump's doing all the work here. That will then go through an accumulator to make sure the pressure is even. That will then go into a splitter, probably something like that. One end of this will go to the shower and go to the sink. The other end will go through a one-way valve. You see what I mean about all these different things? We'll go through a one-way valve, then onto a frost protection device, and then go into the cold water inlet on the boiler. So I have to get all of this in the right place, feed all that pipe through all of that, then in there. It then comes out of here as hot water. We split it again with another one of these. One end goes to the sink, one end goes to the shower, and that is it. Job done. Now, what I have been thinking, we hadn't planned to put an outside shower on, and I can do it later, but I'm considering putting one of them on as well, so I have to sort of figure out where that's going to go. On the side of here is also an exhaust, which is there, and an electrical board. Can you see what's going on? Yeah, you can. I'll bring you a little bit closer. There's also an electrical board which with a little bit of force comes up. Come on, you little bastard. And there's different stuff going on here. So we've got the 12 volts that connects onto there, One of the tin ports here connects, there's a data cable that plugs into that and goes to the Truma screen that's on the switchboard. I've also got temperature sensor to fit, and is that it? That might be it. Can't remember now. There is also a 230 volt cable to connect into the junction box here, which runs round and goes to the consumer unit. There are 4 vents on the side, on the other end, which will connect to this and feed the warm air around the van. And last but not least, there is the exhaust pipe here, which will be connected via a special exhaust pipe onto the side of the van and out. So that is pretty much everything. Now let me explain my slight dilemma. Right, in my initial thoughts of not thinking where things were going to go, what I would have loved is for this to be up against that wall, like that, tucked away, and then we can box this in down there and still have loads of space for storage. However, what I wasn't thinking about was the space that you need for these pipes to come out and come around. So that means that has to be away from the wall. At least about there, which is eating away at the space available. But then I realised that the exhaust that I've got that came with it won't reach that far and won't turn that far if we do it that way. I put that in there, I've got absolutely no chance of getting to the wall. So I was left with 2 options. Option 1 is put this on a tilt, like so, but then again we still have loads of space being eaten into, or put it this way around, like so. The exhaust reaches perfectly and the vents connect in nice and easy, but again the downside is once I've boxed this in, we've lost, you know, half a foot of space in the storage, so it's sort of a lose-lose a little bit. So putting it in this way is my best bet. However, that comes with its own issue, which is the side here, this side, is where the air gets sucked in, and if you decide to box this in, you're meant to put a vent on the side if the box is quite close, so that enough air can get in. So I'm going to take a slight risk and I'm going to put it up against that side, but I'm going to leave 3 or 4 inch gap here so that enough air can still get in and feed everything, and hopefully that is enough. When I box this in, I will put air vents on, so there will be airflow, and also there's no need to put a top on this, just like we haven't with the electrics, because the bed's just above, so there is plenty of air circulating. It's just whether it's going to cause any issues on there, but I don't think it should. So what I'm going to do, I've got this sat on a green piece of wood, because quite a bit of heat comes out the bottom of this, and I don't know how well this, I don't know what this is made of, this rubber floor thing can handle heat. So I'm going to put that on there, screw this to the wood and to the floor, and then we can start sort of piping everything in. Right, I've just temporarily screwed that in just in case I need to move it. There's just 2 screws holding that into the floor right now, and I have made the first little bit of what will be the frame to box this in. So it'll look something about there-ish. Obviously it'll need sides, but it'll be somewhere there, and then we can clad this in the green stuff or whatever we've got knocking about. I probably will need some sort of access port here, or some way to quickly remove this if I need to gain access. So it's just little things like that that you've got to think about. What this does, because I've got that so far back, it gives us all this space here to get all the the accumulator, the pump, the frosting, everything. We can put all that in here, and maybe even the outdoor shower bit, and then it's all just tucked away in one area. So I think this should work. Literally my only concern is just that being so close to the wall. But I've left 4-inch gap there. I think that should be fine. There's enough circulation with the vents and with no top to air can still move around. So I think we'll be alright. Right, assuming that that is the right place and that's where it's going to stay, the hot water outlet connector is this sort of shape. It's got this little extra aeration vent that's on the top. The pipes that come out of the back of this are 10mm, those little metal stubs, and the pipes we're going to use throughout the van are 12mm. Everything is John Guest push fit connectors because they're super easy and very reliable. And so what we've got on this is a 10mm side, which is there, which goes onto the back of there, and a 12mm side for the pipes that we're using. That hopefully just slots straight on and it's good to go. That's the theory. And then this little aeration vent comes with a small clear pipe that fits onto there. That goes out the bottom of the van. So what I need is a hole for that in the right place, and what I might as well do is make the hole a slight bit bigger, and then we can move this diesel fuel line from the back to come out right in front of that, so I've got plenty of that spare. So I'm going to mark from the inside where I want the hole. I know underneath is clear because I've already checked, so I'll just mark that with a drill bit and then I'll come through with a hole cutter from underneath. Right, I've got the frame in. It looks a bit orange because I've just whacked a load of outdoor waterproof tint, or whatever it's called, stain, that's the word I'm looking for, outdoor stain on it, just because it's raw wood. I didn't want it to get damp, so just whacked a bit of that on, extra protection. So obviously that's going to be boarded, down here is going to be boarded, across here is going to be boarded. Fucking seagulls, give it a second whilst they have a fight somewhere. Come on, guys. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get the plumbing done with this in. However, what I'm going to do on the inside is put a piece of wood across there, and then I can attach everything on the inside to that piece of wood. I'm just waiting for a couple of parts to arrive before I can crack on with that. Right guys, this is what I'm thinking. I've put this board in, that's attached to that now. So what I'm thinking is we use this existing hole to pull the cold feed through, and then there is possibly a door going here. We can put the isolator there so we can open the door and get to it. Ow, shit, just punched a thing. We'll bring the cold feed through here, it'll come out of there, it'll go into the pump, well, the filter first, which is attached to the pump already, so we can mount the pump and the filter to that. Then that will go into the accumulator, so we can mount that there, so it'll look something along those lines. And then there's an existing hole somewhere here, which we can use for the frost control. But it's got this little spout, so it needs to go out the bottom of the van. So we can use that there. And what else? There is a one-way no return to go, so that'll be there. And I think that is it. So it'll come through the isolator, into the filter, into the pump, into the accumulator. Then it'll go off, it'll get split it'll go off to the sink and the shower, and the other end will go through the one way, through the frost control, and then into the cold feed in the Truma. That is the idea. Right, I've just realised I'm still waiting for some connectors to arrive, because these are 1/2" screw connectors that I need an adapter for, so it goes from a 1/2" screw to a 12mm push fit. So once they get here I can crack on with that. In the meantime I have tidied up the cables at the back there, and the ducting for the vents. I've just attached that to the wall with little clips, so it all looks a bit more organised. Next I have, what did I do? Oh yeah, I connected the Truma to the junction box just there, nice and easy. I've got the cables in place for later on that will connect to the Truma. I am going to now put the ducting onto the Truma itself. These literally just push into these holes. They've got little teeth on the inside. You push them in, make sure you get them in the right place because they're a bitch to get out. Push them in and that's that done. So there's 4 in total. The 2 top vents on the Truma you use for the longest runs, so that is this one that goes to the inside of the shower and the one underneath that goes to the near the front of the cab under the kitchen. So I'll put those 2 on the top either side. I've got a little one over there, if you can see just there, that's going to come around and connect into the other side. This one down here with a little cover on, I'm going to leave till last, because what we're going to do is put a vent, a ducting from that and stick it out of this wall when there is a wall, and that will heat, if necessary, the garage area. Right, that's all done, looking good. I've clipped that onto there, everything is nice and stable. That does stick out, that that elbow, a little bit further than where that wall's going to go, so we're going to have to sort of, I don't know, root a little bit out of the back of the wall, so you won't see it, but just a bit of a pain in the arse. Like I said before, I'm going to leave this this 4th vent last, because it's going to come, when we put this wall on, that vent will stick there, and then hang on, that will be there like that, and that will obviously connect into there. This one, unlike the others, has a open and close mechanism like you get in the car basically, and the reason for that is because if you've got a load of bags or something here that you don't want getting warm, then you can just block that off, and it won't let any warm air out. Right guys, those little connectors came, which I've put on to the pump and the accumulator. I put a little bit of a little bit of oh, I can never remember the bloody letters. PTFE tape, that's the one. Right, I put a little bit of PTFE tape on each one. I don't know if it's necessary, but better safe than sorry. So they're in place. Little bit of a change. Let me show you from the top. So this is what it's going to look like. We're going to pull the water in from there, which is where the there was an old hole there, which I said we were going to use for the frost control, because this needs to come out of the floor. What we're going to do instead, we're going to bring the cold water feed from there, bring it across through this little bend plastic holder thing, which we can screw to the floor. That will then come from there into the what do you call this, isolator, then into a little elbow, into the filter, into the pump, into the accumulator, into another little elbow, then it goes into that splitter. One end of that splitter goes off to the taps, the other end goes into the one-way valve, then into the frost control, and then into the Truma, which is a lot, isn't it, really? So yeah, I'll show you one fitting, and then I'm just going to crack on and fast forward everything. Right, so we've got a little bit of pipe as an example, and I bought a pipe cutter. It's a little triangular blade with a clamp, and it makes it super easy to cut everything. And what it does is keeps a straight edge on the cut, which is what you want, because if the edge is a bit lopsided, when you put it in, there might be a gap for the water to get out, and that's not what we want. So just to show you, it goes in, clamp it down where you want it, and then press, and that's it, done. Nice straight edge on there. Now I've also got these, these little inserts that go into the end of the pipe on each connection. You don't have to use this on the cold. It's really more specifically just for the hot pipes, because they are more likely to expand with the hot water. However, I'm going to use it on everything. Again, it's just an extra precaution, and they literally just push in. You can use the floor or whatever to push it into place, and that's it, done. And then that will fit into any connector like so. These just push fit, like I said. Inside each of these there's a little O-ring. When you push it in, it grabs onto it, and when the system pressurizes and it tries to come out, that's what keeps it in. If you want to take this out again, you see this little bit here, you push that in and then pull, and it comes back out. There are clips that you can buy if you want to be extra safe, that clip into there to stop that from pushing in, but once the system pressurized, there shouldn't be any issue anyway. Right, that being said, I'm going to crack on and see how we get on, and you can just watch in fast forward mode. Okay, we've got all that connected and up to the one-way valve, which is on. The frost control, I think I'm just going to line up to about there because of this hole that I have to drill. I'm going to mark that and drill through, and then that can continue, and that will just about, without bending anything too much, that will just about work. Any holes that I drill, by the way, are getting sprayed underneath with direct to rust paint. I just thought I'd mention that. So yeah, I'm going to mark that, drill through, and then we can continue. Right, holes cut. I'm going to put the frost control. This frost control, by the way, is if, well, it's in the name, if the temperature gets too low, this kicks in and drains the water to protect the boiler. So to reset it, you need access to the twisty bit at the top and the button at the back, which is why I'm going to face it that way and not that way, because if I put a door over here, it'll be easier to access and get to it. It does come with a pipe for the bottom, to go through the bottom of the van to the water to drain through. However, that that little spout that the pipe's supposed to attach on, and the instructions just say push the pipe on, is bollocks because the pipe's the same size, so you can't do it. All I've done is use a bit of spare clear pipe that I had knocking about. I'm going to feed that whole thing through and then just cut off where I need underneath, and I'll screw this to the floor to keep it in place, and then we can continue feeding this into the boiler. What's the chances we get this right first time? There we go, that one's in. Have I lined this up right? Have I lined this up right? Oh, you sexy bastard. It's on. It's on. First time, it's in. It's on. It looks good. Oh, yes. Right. I've attached this onto the floor. It's just a bit of scrap wood to get this little bend holder thing to the same height as this, so that there's less pressure and there's no bends coming up and down. So that's going to sit there, and hopefully I can just push this. They screw into whatever they're sitting on. Hopefully I can just push this into the right place without too much trouble, he says. I'll put an insert in here. So what I'm going to do is push that in there first. Nice and tight. Seemingly is in the right place. It all looks connected. Obviously we're not going to know until we test it, but we're off to a good start. Right guys, I'm going to call that a day. It's just about 9 PM. I've got about 5% battery left on the camera. I'm a bit tired, so call it a day, charge the camera up, we're back tomorrow, get this thing boxed off. Right, good morning, we're back on it. I'm going to do a bit of hot water pipe right now. By the way, this comes in loads of different colours. I'm using blue and red for my simple mind, obvious reasons. Right, so down the side of the Truma is going to be this, hang on, get on in the shot, is going to be this connector with the aeration hose that's going to go out of the bottom of the van. That is going to sit on there like that. So what I'm thinking is, we take, because the pipe's going to come out of the bottom and go straight down, we need to get the pipes to the kitchen sink and to the shower, but what I'm also planning is to put an external shower either in this wall or cut through the van wall. So we need some pipe going that direction as well. So what I'm thinking is drop straight down towards the floor, put a elbow in, go that way to somewhere over here, come upwards and then put a T-junction so that one side can go to the external shower and the other side can go this direction towards the sink and shower, and here we can put a splitter, a Y shape, and go off to those two things. And then we'll do the same with the cold water, which is come up and go over here or here, wherever the external shower is, and then split that off and go that direction and split it again to the two things. Right, that looks good. I'm going to leave that there where it is for now, because I haven't decided yet what we're going to do with this external shower. So essentially that's coming out, it's going to get split, one to the shower, one this way, then split again, sink and bathroom. So whilst I try to figure out what I'm going to do there, I'm going to get under the kitchen sink, drill a couple of holes in here for the water pipes to come out of, or for these water pipes to go in, should I say, because I think we'll connect it under the sink. The sink hoses, the water hoses, are not John Guest. So I've got these little connectors, that 1/2-inch connectors that screw in, and then we've got a John Guest connection for these water pipes. So that's pretty simple, and then I can get under the shower, which is a bit more complicated. I was just looking at this to where to drill into the kitchen sink, and I just thought to myself, I put this framing because we're going to board the back, but I never thought about where this was going to be, and so these two bits that stick out now are now redundant. They're literally not doing anything. There's no purpose to them, so I might as well take them out, get rid of them, 1 and 2, and then it's easier to drill into. This is all boarded off. You're not going to see any of this anyway. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you know what I was doing in case you wondered what the hell was going on. Right, I'll just show you under the sink so you know what's going on. 2 pipes coming in there. I've used a little wall connector to hold the tap pipes in place, and then they just connect on, and I put a bit of that PTFE tape, whatever it's called. Yeah, that's good to go. Right, I've drilled 2 holes. One over here, I don't know if you can see that, you can't, but it's just there above that ducting. That goes behind into the toilet area, and then the pipe comes up and through the board that the fridge sits on. So there's another hole, I'll show you in a second. What it means doing it this way, I've cut them on a bit of an angle, so rather than having to have connectors, obviously wherever we don't have connectors, we don't have a risk of a leak. So what I've done is sort of bend and let this flow to what feels still like a natural bend, not a super tight, you know, sharp angle bend that's going to damage the pipe. That feels nice and easy and loose. So we'll pin this on. So I'll show you what I did. Just feed this through. And there. Obviously these will be attached. I'll clamp these on so they're not rattling around, and then bend this a little bit this way and that way. That can go through that hole, and then I'll have to get underneath where the toilet is to push it up, and you can see that comes up that way, and we'll connect into these pipes that are at the back of the shower. Let me just show you, that are going to connect onto here. So I just need to strap everything down a little bit, but that will be connecting into there like that, and then go down, flow around, so there's no joints, comes all the way around, and then we need to split it here because it needs to connect into the existing stuff there. So let me show you this first. This is a bullfinch shower point. It's hot and cold. A lot of them are just cold, but I wanted both. So obviously comes with instructions, comes with the shower hose that we plug in to use, but that is the main point. How do I open this? Just pull it over. So it just looks like that, like anything else. I was gonna put this here like that, but then I thought anytime we need to use it, we're gonna have to have the back doors open if it's raining, because if we're like coming off a hill and we've got muddy boots, you want to wash them down, it might be raining. I don't want to have to open the back doors just to use that, so I'm going to go to the extra effort and drill through, well, it's hardly much, it's not much effort, drill through the side of the van and cut a little bit of wall away here because there's nothing behind there, so there is space, and that can go on the outside of the van along with the exhaust for the Truma and the power point for the shore power. My only gripe is that it is grey and everything else is black, so I might put it on and then spray it black on the outside just to make me happy a little bit. Super simple. Drill a hole on the side of the van, that fits through. There's 4 screws on the inside, screw that in. It has a gasket, so it is watertight, but it says on the instructions that you can add, it's very loud, that you can add a bit of silicone around the outside if you want. Right, I think we're done. I think we are fully plumbed. It's time to test it, which isn't nerve-wracking one bit. Right, that's connected. I'm going to fill the tank up, well, put quite a bit of water in, flip the switch on the switchboard for the water pump. We should get a noise. It should pressurise everywhere. I'm going to put towels everywhere. I'm going to get Sam to come and help me, she's working inside. I'm going to get every part of this, everywhere there's a junction, I'm going to get a towel ready just in case. And we'll see where the leaks are and fix it as we need to. Right, whilst the water's filling up, I'll just remind you, I have come, we're going to follow the blue line from all the pumps and everything down there, comes up through a curve into a T-junction there, across to the outdoor shower, and then across into a Y connector, and then that goes off to the sink and to the thing. The red one comes out of the Truma, the second joint there goes into the Truma. The red one comes out of the Truma and up into a T connection. One of that ends goes to the outdoor shower, the other goes to another Y connector, and then again off to the sink and the shower. So let's test everything. Right, it's just starting to rain, which is great timing. Sam is under the sink with towels at the ready, behind the bathroom, the shower with towels at the ready, and I am gonna, so there's possible leaks where the shower and the sink are. There's nothing going to be here because there's no connections until we get to these here, and then obviously all of this junction city over here. So Sam, if you go to the switchboard and flick the switch for the water pump,
yeah,
hopefully we get some noise coming from the water pump. Woo! Okay, look out for leaks now, everywhere. Oh, I can hear the first one coming from underneath them. So for some reason, which I don't know yet, I'm just letting you know, all the water's coming out of the frost control. So I just need to figure that out why that is. Right, I've read the instructions. This button is set to drain. So I need to push that in, like so, and hopefully that should stop that. So flick the switch back on.
Go again.
We should get some noise once again from the pump, and if it pressurises, it should stop. Right, listen out for leaks. I can't see anything. Can you see anything yet?
No.
I can hear something over here that sounds like a leak.
Turn the fan off. Ow! Shit!
Did you just hit your elbow?
Motherfucker.
You don't need to turn... Alright.
Better to hear the leaks.
Right.
In my end.
Well, I feel like that should have pressurised by now, but maybe I'm wrong. There's no leaks anywhere that I can see
There's nothing here.
or feel. I don't know how long it takes to pressurise.
Is that going to do that every time it goes on though? Or is that just...
No, only if you depressurise it. There you go, it stopped. That's it, that's pressurised.
Right.
So obviously we've got no hot water because we ain't got the Truma turned on
Yeah,
or set up yet.
yeah.
This is just cold water.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, there's nothing here.
right,
We're good.
check your ports again.
Yeah, we're good. Everything's
There's
solid.
no way.
Nothing here.
If we've got no leaks first time, I'm going to be absolutely gobsmacked. Like there's literally nothing.
There's nothing here. There's no connectors here though, is there?
No, it's just
all.
it's just the
It's
shower.
literally there. There's nothing here.
There's no
Solid.
water anywhere. Well, that's not a
Nothing.
connection. What about down there? No.
No.
Everything looks good. Absolutely unreal.
Someone's dinner smells good.
I can smell that too.
Doesn't it?
Okay. Test number 1. It's set onto the cold because we ain't got any hot.
Is this going to spurt?
Yeah, because there probably will be air in the system, so don't panic if it does.
Okay.
So go for it. So that's the... We're going to get some noises. We might have to fine tune the accumulator. But
Cleaning the sink.
we've
Oh,
got
God.
water.
That sounds a bit.
Yeah, we've got some weird noises going on. Right, I'll come round your side. Okay, test the shower. You just take the top off, Chloe.
Obviously.
And I've set that to cold as well, so you... Again, there's going to be a lot of air and noise.
Well, that seems good. And I can't see, but there's no bits there.
We've got running water in the van, babe.
There's definitely nothing here.
We've actually got
We're going to have a cold
water
shower.
in the van. How amazing is this? Right, I have made an adjustment to the accumulator. So on the front of the pump it says switch off pressure 20 psi. So what I've done is taken the tip off of this, put it a bike pump with a meter on it onto there, pumped it up to, I think it was around 16-17 psi, so it's just less than the pump. And so what that should do is equal out that pressure a little bit and get rid of those weird noises that we were having. So hopefully we turn the water on, the pump kicks in, and then turn the water off and the pump turns off, just like that. So that should be okay now. It seems to be all working. Right, now all that is taken care of, we can get the Truma working. So we've got some hot water and some hot air. First I need to fit a metering pump. I don't know if you remember I told you that I've been lucky enough that the previous owners have fit the fuel line for the Truma from the diesel tank, so it saved me a lot of time. However, for some reason, don't know what, they took the metering pump off. So in between the fuel tank for the van and the Truma there is a line, a fuel line that runs. There should be a metering pump which looks like this in the middle, and it's missing, so I've had to buy a new one. So I've got the metering pump, the holder for the metering pump, so that slides into there in a minute, and that fits onto the side of the van. You use these rubber ones so that the tapping from the pump doesn't go straight into the metal and annoy you when you can hear it in the van. There are other ones where they sort of dangle, so they're not touching anything, but they look so flimsy and I just didn't want to risk it. So there's that, and I've also got a filter. So if we say we've got the diesel tank on this side, there'll be a filter. This will, I think it'll go that way around. The fuel line will come into here, out of here, into the metering pump, out of the metering pump, straight down the line and into the Truma. And they connect with these little, I'll put links for everything, these little rubber pipes. If I can push this on with no hands, onto there, and you get little cable or pipe connectors, pipe clamps that look like that, which obviously you need to put on first, and clamp everything together. So pretty simple. I'll not record this because it's under the van and I can't be arsed messing about with the camera, but oh, last thing I should tell you, if you are fitting a metering pump, is that it needs to be fit on an angle. So the side that is coming, so if the fuel tank's this side, the Truma's this side, this needs to be pointed and angled up. So it will sit inside of that, like so, and this will be angled upwards that way to prevent air getting trapped. I think that's the right reason. I can't remember. I've read it that many bloody times. So yeah, we just need to make sure it's fit on an angle like that, and then the pipe will come out of there and go to the Truma. Okay. Right, now that's done, we can connect the, let me get these out of the way, 12 volt power, which won't come on yet because I've not put a fuse in the fuse box. So that goes in there like that. I can't actually see what I'm doing because this bloody wood's in the way. That goes on there like that. Negative on there. Communication cable to go to the screen. The room sensor connectors, which doesn't matter which one they go on because they're not polarity sensitive. So they can just slide on there with any luck. The final one is the pump, the metering pump connector, which has got dirty, so I'm hoping it's okay. That goes onto there, like so. Right, I'll put the camera at the front where the screen is, and we'll put a fuse in and we'll see what happens. Before we do that, I've just remembered I've not attached the exhaust, so it's probably a good idea that we do that now. So exhaust looks like this. It's got an inner part which connects onto here and onto the Truma, and then an outer part which connects around this, also onto the both. So I can slide this on over that. Make sure you push it on all the way. I'm going to push this black pipe back that way. We've got a new rubber O-ring on there. That slides into that hole, and then there's a pin that goes into that, and then this goes over the top of that. So I'm going to have to have a little fight with this a little bit. Get it the right shape. Nearly there. Right, that's in. And then we've got this weird shaped pin that looks like that. That goes in there. Right, that's that in. So that's not going anywhere now. A little bit more. And now we can fight this one over there. Right, that should be that done. That's not going anywhere. That all is solid. That's good. Right, let's fire it up. Right, I think everything is connected. Unlock that. So, the only thing left to do is to put the fuse in the fuse board that the Truma's connected to. It's a 20 amp fuse. what we're going to expect to happen, something to happen on here, I don't know what, but the pump, excuse me, the metering pump that we've installed needs to be primed. The Truma has, oh, the seagulls are screaming again. The Truma has an automatic sequence for that, so that will show up on the screen, hopefully, and it might take a few minutes, so I might just fast forward through that. So let's plug this in, we'll see what happens. Right, nothing happened when I just plugged it in, so I've turned this off and I have restarted it, and it's searching for bus devices, so we'll see if it finds anything and then we'll see what happens. Right, if I set this to 30 degrees, I think it should kick in the programming sequence. Okay, that took a few minutes and I've had a little play on the app, which didn't make any difference. I was right, I've set it to room temperature of 30 degrees. It has kicked in the heater, and I don't know if you can hear it because there's a lot of background noise. But that's the pump that we installed, the metering pump, starting to pump diesel through the line. And that's going to take a while because it's got to get all the way to the back and into the Truma. So this process will probably end, it might shut down, restart, and we'll have to do it once or twice until the diesel reaches the Truma. So come back in a second. Okay, we're back. That went tits up, so let me explain what happened. So when the system tries to prime the fuel line, meaning to get the fuel from the fuel tank of the van through the metering pump and into the Truma takes care of that. It pulls all that through and then fires up. What happened was it filled up the filter, but for some reason wasn't pulling it through the metering pump. And on here, this works in cycles. That priming cycle lasts a few minutes. If it doesn't work and the Truma doesn't fire up, you get a message on here saying the heater won't start. Now you can reset that and say everything's fine, no big deal, carry on, and it'll do it again. You get the chance to do that 5 times and then it locks you out. And I wasn't paying attention and I did it 5 times thinking it was just needing to get the fuel to the Truma. Did it 5 times and it locked me out completely. So annoyingly, I had to go to the special Truma man with the special Truma laptop, and he's reset it for me. And he also said take the filter off of the metering pump because you don't really need it, and for some reason it's causing the metering pump not to do its job. So I've done that, took the filter off, so now the fuel line just goes straight to the metering pump, through that and straight to the Truma itself. I started to prime it again last night and it works perfectly. So we can just press room temperature, heating, set your temperature, and in a couple of seconds the Truma will kick in. And we did it last night to test it, and there is warm air pouring out of all of these vents, which is amazing. Right, the Truma is now up and running. I just want to bring you closer so you can hear it. Obviously there's no mattress on right now, so it's a bit louder than what it will be, but even now it's pretty quiet. There's warm air coming out of all the vents. So that is all fully working. What I'm going to do now, because I haven't tested it yet, is switch on the hot water. You can do all this either on here or on the app. It all tells you on there. So I've just turned the hot water on. I'm going to let that get hot and then make sure that the taps and the shower are all working and there's no leaks once that the water has got up to temperature, because I want to double check everything when we've got warm pipes as well as when we've got cold pipes. So back in a sec. Okay, that water is up to temperature. It's got 3 settings on it. One's called Eco, one's called Comfort, and one's called Hot. I stuck it on Comfort because I didn't know what the temperature of each was. And it's now ready. It says it's ready. Get all this out of here, and it's 63 degrees on Comfort. Like 63 degrees is bloody hot water, isn't it? So if I open this hot tap, we're probably going to get a bit of air in it. The pump's on and there should be hot water coming out. Give it a minute for the actual pipe to clear and the hot water. Oh yeah, fuck it, can you see that steam? That is, I can't even put my hand in that. Right, and that's on comfort. What the hell is hot? Like 100-degree water? Okay, so that's working. Let's clear the shower line. And we'll test that one as well. So I'll turn this to hot. Turn you around a little bit. It should be cold because the line is full of cold water. And then, yeah, that's hot. And there's a bit of air in that line as well. So if I close that and let the pump fill it up. Open it again. There we go. Yeah, that is plenty hot. So if we mix that with the cold, we should have, oh, beautiful, beautiful hot showers we're going to be having in this van. That's amazing. Right, guys, we are done. We are done. This has been a long video. I apologise, but it was a big job to get all the heating and the plumbing done, and there's loads of things going on, so whatever. Thank you. If you made it this far, I bet you didn't, but if you did, thank you so much for watching, because it is a long video. Right, that is the last of the big jobs. How absolutely mentally exciting. We've got finishing touches to do, things like covering these edges, putting the mattress in, putting the toilet, all that stuff. That's on the next video, and then we are driving into the sunset, boys and girls. Can't wait. It's been a year and a half of free time and weekends, but we are getting there. Right, I'm signing off. Thank you so much again for watching. Please leave your comments, subscribe, all that shit. You know what the drill is. And I will see you in the next video where we finish this van. Thanks again.